All right, so I'm hoping everybody can see my screen clearly. Bashir, can you see my screen
Yes,
clearly, please?
we
Awesome,
can see your screen. Can see your screen, sir.
awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so like I said, today we're going to talk about the business of Royal Q, and also for the newbies or for the person that has no idea what cryptocurrency is all about and what is the safest way for you to get involved with it, this is the business for you. So as I said earlier, my name is George Ikenna Elendu, so please pay proper attention to all I have to say today. And I'm sure by the end of this meeting, you will have, a basic understanding of what we are trying to preach to you today. All right, so before we talk about what cryptocurrency is, I would like everyone to know that we also have what we call fiat currency. All right, fiat currency, which is FIAT. Now, what exactly is fiat currency? Fiat currency basically is paper money, money that you and I can hold in our hands, money you can put in your wallets or in your pockets, basically money you can touch and exchange for some good or service in whatever country you are in. But there are a lot of restrictions that come with our regular banking systems. Let's take, for instance, let's say you have a friend of yours in Canada, you have another friend of yours in, let's say, Lithuania, a friend of yours in Sweden, and you would like to send some money, yes, your own money, to them. And let's take, for instance, you are in Nigeria. So, what would the case be? You will need to get to the bank. You need to ensure that you can even send funds to the country of choice. You need to ensure that you can even send a certain amount. Now, just imagine if you're trying to send, let's say, $200,000 or $500,000 to these countries. Trust me, a lot of pop-ups, a lot of red flags. They would probably invite you in, ask you what to do for a living. You have to sign some paperwork before the transaction can be done. Basically, there is no privacy when it comes to your own transaction, all because you are trying to send your own money to a friend of yours. Those are the hindrances that come with our regular banking systems, around the world. But let's take, for instance, the same scenario for cryptocurrency. Now, with cryptocurrency basically is digital money, money that only exists over the internet, money that can be sent only over the internet. You cannot hold cryptocurrency in your hands. You cannot put it in your pocket, your physical pocket or your physical wallets. It only exists on the please, can everybody mute themselves? Bashir, can you help me mute someone? Thank you.
Okay.
Here's someone. All right, so as I was saying, with cryptocurrency is basically money that exists on the internet, money that can be sent over the internet and can be stored on a digital wallet or digital exchange. All right, now you've probably heard of Bitcoin, but we'll get to that. I talked about how the restrictions that come with fiat currencies. I talked about the banking systems. I talked about how all the restrictions when you're trying to send your own money to friends of yours in certain countries, the fact that you have no privacy, of the amount you're trying to send, and it's your own money. Um, I've also talked about what cryptocurrency is all about. It is digital currency that can be sent over the internet. Now, the good thing about cryptocurrency is that we have a saying that crypto is transparent, but it's also anonymous. Why? Because every single transaction that has ever happened with cryptocurrency gets recorded on what we call a blockchain. Every single transaction that has ever happened in cryptocurrency gets recorded on what we call the blockchain. All right. Now, why is this so important? Because the blockchain is where, like I said, every transaction. So right now I can go back, I can log onto the blockchain right now. I can go 5 years ago to probably, 12 minutes past 9, and I would see a transaction that happened 5 years ago. Now, what would I see? I would see the wallet address. I would see the amount of cryptocurrency that was sent at the time. I would see the wallet address that received these funds as well. I would see the time, I would see the date, and all that, because the blockchain is transparent for everybody to see. Remember, I said the blockchain is transparent, but it is also anonymous. Now, I've explained to you what I mean by transparent. Anybody, even you right now on this call, you can go to the blockchain right now and you can check on transactions that have happened, even the past second or the past minute. You will see the amount of funds that were sent. You will see when they were sent, what address sent them, and what address received them. That is transparency. But then again, I talked about being anonymous. What does that mean? So even though I can see the amount of funds that were sent, I can see the wallet address that sent the money, I can see the wallet address that sent the crypto, and the one that received it, I still cannot tell who the owners of these wallets are. That is where being anonymous comes into play. That is the beauty of the blockchain. The fact that you can't tell the owners of these wallets. You can't tell the people that started the transaction or the person that received the transaction. But the digital footprint will show you the wallet address that sent the funds and the one that received the funds and the amount they were sent at that particular time. Now, moving on. For those that understand that cryptocurrency is already here to stay, and the fact that it is growing every single day, these are a few stats for you. Over here, you can see that there are over 420 million crypto users worldwide. Now, this data is quite old. This is as of last year, because a few months ago, I came across an article that said that right now, as we speak, or as of then when I read it, approximately 570 million people are actively crypto users in the world. 570 million. I haven't even scratched the surface, because as the days roll by, as technology keeps evolving, more people will keep getting involved and more interested in what cryptocurrency has to offer. Right here, you can see that these are the top countries that are involved with cryptocurrency. The first one is USA at approximately 46 million people. Next, we have India at 27 million. Next, we have Pakistan, 26 million. We have Nigeria. Yes, even this Nigeria that you are in at 22 million people. Next, we have Vietnam at approximately 20 million people involved actively with cryptocurrency. So I've explained to you all what cryptocurrency is, the basics of what cryptocurrency is, the fact that it is digital currency. It exists over the internet. It can only be sent over the internet. It cannot be held with your hands. You cannot put it in your physical pockets. It can only be sent over the internet. Now, for you to receive or send or purchase any cryptocurrency, you need to get involved with what we call a cryptocurrency exchange. Now, what is this exchange? An exchange is basically a platform where you can purchase a digital platform where you can purchase digital assets. You can purchase your crypto there. You can buy, you can sell, you can keep, you can send, you can receive in this cryptocurrency exchanges. All right, now there are so many cryptocurrency exchanges out there that you can take part in. The first you can take part in Coinbase, Binance, Kraken. You've heard of KuCoin. You've heard of Bybit. There are so many out there for you to take advantage of. Now, in finance, there's what we call trading pairs. Trading pairs. So because we're talking about cryptocurrency, doesn't mean that trading pairs only refers to crypto. With trading pairs, it refers to both fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies as well. Before I go on to what I was explaining, can A few people in the chat, please type the two main characteristics I said about the blockchain. Let me be sure that you are paying attention. If you're new here, can you please type in the chat the two main characteristics of the blockchain that I mentioned a few minutes ago, so I'm sure that we are all paying attention. So in the chat, should be we have approximately 50 people in the room right now, so I should be seeing at least 10% of answers here. All right, so Emmanuel says it's transparent. That is one answer. Anybody else? Is it just Emmanuel that's paying attention? All right, so Abdul says anonymous and transparent. Awesome. Orok says anonymous. Okay. Coyote says transparent and anonymous. Awesome. All right, so I think that's 10%. So yes, so that's fine. So I'm happy if people are paying attention. So yes, I mentioned that the blockchain is transparent, but it is also anonymous. And I explained to you by transparency, it means that anybody has access, every single person has access to the blockchain to verify a transaction, to see what happened or if the money was sent or not, what address sent it, what address received it, what amount of crypto was sent at the time as well. But also it is anonymous in the sense that you cannot tell the owners of these wallets. Who sent the funds, you cannot tell. Who received the funds, you also cannot tell. All right, so moving forward, we're talking about trading pairs. And I said that in trading pairs, it doesn't just refer to cryptocurrency alone. When you hear the word pair, it means something that's in twos, right? So trading pair in this sense means trading in twos. You're looking for anything that's in twos. Now, let's take for instance, and I'll ask a question after this, so please pay attention. So let's say for instance you are in Nigeria right now. You have a friend of yours that returns from the UK. All right. And when they got back to Nigeria, they came to see you, and as they were leaving after visiting you, they handed over £100 note to you. £100 note to you. Now, when they handed that money to you, you thanked them, but the next day you decided to go exchange that for your local currency, for the legal tender of the country that you are residing in at the time. Now, what do? You head over to a bureau de change, and you get to him and like, I beg, how much is pounds to naira today? How much is pounds to naira today? Remember, I mentioned pairs in twos. Basically, you would like to know what the value of the pounds you are holding would be in your local currency. And because you are currently in Nigeria, you are looking to exchange that currency for your legal tender, the trading pair for that question would be GBP. It would be trading pair would be GBP / NGN. GBP / NGN. Can someone please tell me why it is GBP? Can someone in the chat please tell me why it is GBP / NGN? Why is it GBP? Can someone in the chat tell me why it is GBP? Anybody? Or what is the full meaning of GBP so that those that don't understand can follow? What does GBP stand for? Anybody in the chat? We have 57 people in the room right now, so we're looking for at least 10% of that. All right, so Bashir says Great Britain. Okay, yes, Great British Pounds. Awesome. Coyote says trading pair. No, trading pair means GBP / NGN is a trading pair, but I asked for what the full meaning of GBP means. What does it stand for? And it stands for Great British Pounds. All right. So so the trading pair for that question you were asking, that bureau de change, is Aboki, abeg, how much is pounds to naira? That's what you're asking him basically. All right. And the trading, this is the trading pair, GBP/NGN. So using this as an example, so please pay attention because this question, I'm hoping I get more than 10% of the room to answer this question as well. Let's take, for instance, you are in the US. You are in the US. Right? And a friend of yours, you know, a friend of yours from Japan, all right, comes to visit you in the US. A friend of yours from Japan has come to the US to visit you, all right, and they hand over Japanese yen, 100 Japanese yen to you, the Japanese currency. They hand over the Japanese currency to you. Obviously, because you are in the US, you can't actively use that currency there. So you decide to go exchange that for the legal tender of the country you are currently in. Can you please type in the chat, what would the trading pair for that transaction be? Remember, you're currently residing in the US. A friend of yours came from Japan and handed over the Japanese currency to you. Now you would like to exchange that for the legal tender of the country you are currently residing in. Can you please type in the chat, what would the trading pair for that transaction be? So what would transaction be? All right, so someone, all right, so I have a couple of answers here. All right, so he says yen/USD. Okay. Abdul says we have JYP/USD. Anthony says JPY/USD. Joe says USD/JPY. Emmanuel says YEN/USDT. You're going too far, Emmanuel. We haven't talked about USDT. So Kweku says JPY/USD. So yes, basically the answers are similar. So the correct answer would be JPY/USD. All right, JPY standing for Japanese yen, and you're trying to exchange that currency for the legal tender. So that will be JPY/USD. You are looking to exchange this for the legal tender in the country you are residing in. So I hope that is clear. So now I'm sure for those who have no idea what trading pairs are, when you see any trading pair now, you have an idea of what it is trying to communicate to you, what it's trying to tell you that, okay, this means that I'm trying to exchange this money for this, or this means that I would like to know what the worth of this currency is in this currency. I hope it is clear. Awesome. So we've talked about trading pairs for, all right, so another question, please type in the chat. This example I just gave you now, this example of you being in the US and a friend of yours coming from Japan to hand over the Japanese currency to you, what type of trading pair is it? Is it crypto? Or is it fiat? What type of trading pair is that? What type? Okay, so I'm seeing answers here. So Vary says fiat, 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 fiat. I'm seeing a lot of fiat. So no varying answers, all fiat. Why is it fiat? Please respond in the chat. For those that said fiat, why is it fiat? Why is it fiat? Anybody? Why is it fiat? We have 60 people in the room. I'm expecting more than 10% of 10% of answers. Anybody? All right, so Abdul says, because it is paper money. All right, both are paper money. Awesome. Because it is paper money, it is local currency. Because it is not digital currency. Awesome. Physical money, currencies of sovereign nation. Physical cash, local currency. Awesome. So yes, I'm happy, more than 10% understand all we've been talking about here. So yes, the answer is correct. It is fiat. That's the fiat example of trading pair. So that being said, I remember I told you when we started that trading pairs don't just refer to fiat currency alone or cryptocurrency alone. Because right here, we have, this is an example of a cryptocurrency trading pair. And this says BTC/USDT. This is BTC/USDT. And what does this mean? This basically means that you would like to know what the value of the Bitcoin you are holding would be in USDT. Now, before we go into, what exactly is BTC, USDT stands for, basically USDT is the cryptocurrency equivalent of a regular dollar. I'll say it again. USDT is the cryptocurrency equivalent of a regular dollar. All right. So when you hear USDT, the T stands for Tether. TETHER. And when you hear Tether, Tether means something that's tied to something else, something that is bound to something else. All right. So USDT is the cryptocurrency equivalent of a regular dollar. So which basically means that 1 USDT is equal to 1 USD. I hope it is clear. 1 USDT is equal to 1 USD. Once again, USDT is the cryptocurrency equivalent of a regular US dollar. I hope it is clear. All right. So moving on to what this means, BTC/USDT, you simply want to know or find out what the value of the Bitcoin you are holding is in USDT. I hope that is clear. So that being said, I would like you guys to, type in the chat, for those that have an idea, a few examples of cryptocurrency trading pairs, so that those that haven't seen or heard of them before can start seeing them now. So just give me like 10% of the room, please type in the chat cryptocurrency trading pairs you've come across and you've probably transacted with in the chat. Give us examples, because what we just saw now is BTC/USDT. Give us examples of cryptocurrency trading pairs that you have an idea of or you've come across. All right, so Abdul says ETH/BTC. That's correct. Biscott says ACRO/BUSD. Awesome. Anybody else? We have 57 people in the room, so we should have more answers. All right. NOT, which is Notcoin/USDT. Awesome. BTC/TRX. We have BNB/USDT. We have NOT/USDT. Awesome. These are all correct. Now, for those that don't understand what we are typing here, these are all examples of cryptocurrency trading pairs. So yes, BTC is a cryptocurrency. BNB is a cryptocurrency. NOT, which is Notcoin, is also a cryptocurrency. ADA is also a cryptocurrency as well. If you notice, like for instance, Abdul says ETH/BTC. It is also correct. It mustn't end with USDT for you to be sure that it's a cryptocurrency trading pair. Same thing. Idris said BTC/TRX. It is also correct. It doesn't have to end with USDT before you can say that it is a cryptocurrency trading pair. All right, so I'm happy that a lot of us have gotten a hang of what we're trying to talk about. Please understand that everything I'm saying from the beginning of this webinar to now to the end will help you understand your RoyalQ business better. So it's not just a waste of time. It will help you so that when you get involved with RoyalQ, you understand when you see these things, you're like, oh yeah, he said that during the meeting. Or yes, I understand this because I attended that webinar. So it is one thing to just join the business, it's another thing to understand the business that you're about to join. All right. So moving on, I'm going to be talking about some basic investment strategies when it comes to cryptocurrency. Basically, how do you multiply your cryptocurrency holdings? How do you multiply the funds you have in cryptocurrency to help you make more? Now, the first one we have here is what we call hodling. Hodling, Hodling, Hodling. This is a play on words. It's a play on the word holding, Holding. It's a play. If you notice, the D and the L were flipped. All right. It's just a play on words, and there's a whole history to why that happened. But just know, for the basic knowledge, that hodling simply is a play on words of the word holding. Why is that? It is a term whereby you decide to hold a cryptocurrency for the long term. Let me explain. Let's take, for instance, let me use, I always love using everyday examples to give us, basic understanding. Let's say, for instance, 10 years ago, a friend of yours came over to you and told you that they would like to purchase, or they want to purchase a piece of land, but there's an extra one beside theirs, and they would like you to buy if you have the funds to. Um, you know, Thankfully, at the time, you had the funds to purchase that piece of land, and you purchased that land for 1 million naira. This is just, an example. So you purchased that land for 1 million naira 10 years ago. You told yourself that no matter what happens, you are not going to sell off this piece of land until 2024. That is your plan. So regardless of whatever comes your way, regardless of whatever issues you have, family, business, friends, whatever, you are not selling off that piece of land until 2024. So let's say 6 months down the line, someone comes to you with a very juicy offer. The person offers you, let's say, 5 million naira for that same piece of land that you bought 6 months ago for 1 million. If you really look at it for a 6 month duration, that is good profit. But again, you remind yourself that you told yourself that no matter what happens, you are not budging, you are not selling until 2024. So let's say you decline the offer, years down the line, yes, offers keep popping up here and there, but you decide to ignore. And thankfully, you hold on till now, 2024. Right now, let's say that friend of yours comes back to you and tells you that, look, development has started around that area. People are building houses, streets are being tarred, estates are being formed around that land. Would you like to sell off yours? Now you go to sell off that land, and now you see that that land is probably at the time worth, let's say, 15 million as we speak. So now you see that you took the right decision. You spent only 1 million naira, and right now that piece of land is worth 15 million, which is a whole lot more than the offers you were getting in the past. So all that happened because you held on to that property. You didn't budge. Now, I'm hoping, and I hope you understand that this example of the land in this case would be a cryptocurrency. Let's take, for instance, when Bitcoin came out, when Bitcoin was formed, Bitcoin was approximately, was less than $1. It was less than $1, less than. And let's say it was 10 cents for one. one Bitcoin was approximately 10 cents. 10 cents. Now, let's do this math. Let's say, for instance, as of the year Bitcoin came out, you decided to, buy a few Bitcoins. Now, at the time, one Bitcoin was 10 cents. So you decided to buy 10 pieces of these Bitcoin. How much would you have spent to purchase these 10 pieces? Please type in the chat. How much would you have spent to purchase 10 whole Bitcoins if one Bitcoin was 10 cents? How much would you spend? How much would you spend? Can anybody else hear me clearly?
Yes, I
complain
can
about
hear
not
you.
hearing me.
Loud and clear, sir. I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so Eunice, I think it's from you then. All right, so Kwaku
Still
says
loud and clear.
$1. Awesome, thank you. So Kwaku says $1. Valerie says $1 as well. Emmanuel says $1. Awesome. So yes, you would spend, or you would have spent $1 to purchase 10 pieces of Bitcoin back then. $1 to purchase 10 pieces. Why? Because if one Bitcoin was 10 cents times 10 pieces, that would be $1 spent to purchase those 10 Bitcoins. Now, right now, can someone tell me, or go to the chat, go to Binance, whatever it is, and let me know how much is one Bitcoin as we speak? How much is one Bitcoin as we speak? How much is one Bitcoin right now as we speak? As we speak right now, how much is one whole Bitcoin? Please type in the chat. Anyone? Can everybody hear me? All right. So
Yes,
Joe says 57,000 what? Okay. So Abba says 57,000 USD. Bashir says $57,200. So let's just take a round figure of $57,000 for one Bitcoin right now. So remember, we purchased 10 pieces for 10 cents each. We spent $1 to purchase those 10 Bitcoins years ago. So right now, if you let's say you find the wallet address and you log into that wallet address, how much would you see as of now, right now? If you had not touched the Bitcoins that you bought back then, if you had just let it ride, you went about with your life, work, family, whatever it is, and you forgot about your wallet address. But now, 2024, people are talking about Bitcoin, and then you remember that there was a time you purchased something like this. If you gain access to that wallet right now as we speak, how much would you see inside that wallet? Please type in the chat. All right, so Kwaku says $570,000. Kate says 57,400. I don't think so. Joe says 570,000. Same thing. Orok says 570,000. So yes, the correct answer would be, as of right now, as we speak, if you log into that wallet address, you would see $570,000 just staring at you. And all you did was invest a whooping sum of $1. That is the power and the beauty of cryptocurrency. There is no business out there that can make you that kind of returns in such time frame. It is not possible. But these are the things that are possible in cryptocurrency, and that is also the power of hodling. All that happened because you held on. You didn't budge, you didn't sell. No matter what happened, you just held on. So hodlers are those that are looking for long-term gains. So hodlers can hold coins for months, for years, because they understand that in the future, these coins will be worth way more than they are right now. So that is the first example. Next, another way to make money from cryptocurrency is by day trading. And this is done by day traders. Now, for you to become a day trader, you need extensive knowledge and understanding of the market. You need to know what you're doing, basically. Yes, you need to know when to trade, when not to trade, what coins to trade at the time, and so on. But the most important thing about day traders is that they are not looking to hold on to coins for the longest of terms. They're looking for the shortest time possible to make profit, and they leave the market. They're looking for the shortest time possible to find opportunities, make money from the market, and leave. So now you see the difference between a day trader and a hodler. Hodler is looking for long term, while day trader is looking for short term. But this doesn't mean that you must be one or the other. You are not bound to be one or the other. You can be both. What do I mean? You can be a hodler, you can also be a day trader. Why? Because there are so many cryptocurrencies out there for you to take advantage of. So yes, there are coins right now you can look at, and you can tell that in the future, these coins will be worth way more. They have potential. Also, there are coins you can look at right now. You can tell that these coins have short-term potential. Coins that are very volatile. Coins that fluctuate quickly. Yes, you can make profit from them day in and day out. So yes, you can be a day trader and also a hodler. All right, so why are we here today? We're here to talk about Royal Q. But before we get into what it is exactly, I'm hoping a lot of us here in this room have heard of the words artificial intelligence, which is AI. Now, AI is basically here to help our lives, make our lives better in every way it can. For example, in the US right now, we have the company Tesla, run by Mr. Elon Musk. Now, they produce self-driving cars, meaning that you can, let's say, you wake up in the morning, you're not really up to driving. You can just get in your car, put in the details of your office, and it takes you to your destination easily. In the UK, sorry, in China right now, there are self-driving taxi companies that don't have any driver in their payroll. Self-driving taxi companies. All you need to do is book a ride, stand in the designated spot, the car will come up to you, you get in the car, and it takes you to your destination. All this would have been impossible in the past. All this would have been things that would have seen, let's say 20, 30, 40 years ago in movies. They would say this is the future. But that's our reality right now. And it will keep evolving. Technology will keep evolving as the days roll by. Artificial intelligence is here to help you in either any way, shape, or form. Right now, as we speak, we have ChatGPT, where you can ask any question that you have, and it would give you the best possible answer. Right now, we have AI tools that you can type in what you would like to see as a video. You could type in, please generate a man and a woman walking down the street, walking a dog, holding an umbrella, and drinking a cup of coffee. And in literal seconds, that video will pop up. That was not possible in the past. All this is possible with the power of artificial intelligence. So if you have an AI tool that can help make your transportation easier, you have an AI tool that can help make your work easier, whatever 9 to 5, businessman or woman, you have an AI tool that can help make basically your productivity better. Why not have an AI tool that is here to help make your trading easier, which is where Royal Q comes into play. Because Royal Q is an AI trading bot that is automated as well and is here to help you analyze and pick the trades for you with ease. While you go about your day, your 9 to 5, whatever business you do, this would work for you. This will become your employee, basically. That is the power of what Royal Q can do and is doing for people already in the business. So right here we have a graphical representation of what I've been talking about. On the left, we have a trader. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that day traders or human traders do not make profits. No, if I tell you that, I'll be lying. Yes, there are day traders that make good profits, but there's only so much a human being can do. There's only so much a human being can turn over. A human cannot monitor 30 to 40 to 50 trades at a go. It's not humanly possible to do that. A human would trade with emotions. Let's say, oh, I have bills to pay by next weekend, or my kids' fees are due on Monday. Now you're trading with emotions, and 8 times out of 10, when you trade with emotions, you will lose money. But on the right here, we have an AI tool that doesn't care if you have bills to pay. It doesn't care if you have your bills are due in 2 days' time, or in 1 day time, or next week. It just executes. It just performs its duty when it's supposed to perform its duty. As simple as that. Plus, an AI tool can monitor a lot more trades than a human can. AI tools can monitor 50 to 100 trades with ease, selling and buying and monitoring with ease, which is something a human being as well cannot do. Now, this is what the AI tool, RoyalQ, is doing for us and has been doing for us since 2021. Yes, 2021. So this business has been here for you to take part in. And if you're here for the very first time, consider yourself lucky, because this business is the best thing that you probably do this year. Moving on. How does the RoyalQ bot really work? Over here, we have a diagram that explains it beautifully. On the left here, we have the RoyalQ bot. And on the right here, we have your digital bank account, basically, that's what we'll call it, your Binance or your cryptocurrency exchange. You will need to pair it or sync with your RoyalQ bot with the use of the API. It's quite easy. By a click of a button, it's done. Why would you need to connect this? Let's say, for instance, a lot of us here on the call, before all the commercial banks that we know right now became very popular, when they were still, their names were not really known. Now, what you would do is maybe you're in the school or in an office and somebody pops up to you and tells you, please, would you mind joining our bank? We give amazing offers. We have amazing services. Now, they would come up to you, give you a form, and you would fill the form if you decide to join the bank. And eventually, when you join the bank, basically that marketer, the person who came to you, is the API. You being the RoyalQ bot, then they would connect you to their bank. So that marketer is standing in as the API that made that connection between you and your bank. So which is basically what the API does here. The API only gives the RoyalQ bot a glimpse into your portfolio to help it trade on your behalf. I will say this again, that if you don't take anything away from this call today, please know that you do not send your funds to anybody to trade for you in RoyalQ. I will say it again, you do not send your funds to anyone to trade for you. A lot of us here on this call have been part of businesses that have failed us. Businesses that have promised you heaven and earth, told you, send this money to us, we'll trade for you, and then we'll send you returns. We'll pay you per month or per week or per day, percentages per day. And eventually, all of them failed. The difference is you sent money to them, they claim they trade for you, and then they send you some percentage until they're done. But here in RoyalQ, you don't send your funds to anybody. Your funds are in your own possession, in your own digital bank account. And why is this important? It's important because in this digital bank account, you have all the control in regards to security. The password, the email addresses, your 2FA code, everything that pertains to security is in your hands and only you. Nobody can authorize a transaction except you. Nobody can withdraw any funds from there except you. Now, that is the power of what RoyalQ does for us. Now, how does the RoyalQ bot trade so effectively for us? It is done by what we call spot trading. Spot trading. Now, what exactly is spot trading? If you hear this, you might think it's quite technical, but trust me, it is quite easy. I'll explain. Please answer this question in the chat. What is that one thing that every businessman or woman wants when they decide to start a business? What's that one thing they have in their heads when they decide to start a new business? What do they want to make? What is that? I'm looking for a word for those that are here for the very first time. What is that one thing? What is that one thing that they are looking to make when they decide to start a new business? What is that one thing? All right, so great. So Regan says profits. Basically, what is saying profit, 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 profit. Returns, same. Income, awesome. The word I'm looking for is profit. All right. So every businessman or woman, yeah, some might argue, oh no, I'm starting the business for passion. Yeah, we understand. But mainly, when you decide to venture into a business, it is because you would like to make way more than you are putting in. It's that simple. You want to make profit. Simple. Now, how do you make profit in business? You make profit in business by buying low. You make profit by buying low and selling high. You make profit by buying low and selling high. It's that simple. The difference there is your profit. So when you hear spot trading simply means, I told you that it's easier than you think. Spot trading simply means that you want to buy low and sell high and make profit. Simple. You want to buy low, sell at a higher price, thereby making profit. That is simply what spot trading means. So why does RoyalQ adopt this system? Because with spot trading, you do not lose any money. There is only one scenario or one case where we would say that you've actually had a loss. But apart from that scenario, I'm going to give you that scenario. But apart from that, if that doesn't happen, you cannot and will not lose money in spot trading. Now, what is that scenario? Now, let's take, for instance, you decide to buy a bag of rice, all right? You purchase that bag of rice for 30,000 naira. And your plan is that you're going to sell the bag of rice when it gets to 70,000 naira. That is your plan, all right? But, we have our plans, but the market does what it wants to do. So let's say, for instance, something happens in the market and the price of rice now drops, right? So the price of rice has dropped from 30,000, it has dropped to 28,000, it keeps dropping to 25, to 24, 22, to 20,000 for that bag of rice. Yes, for the common man or for the average Joe or for the consumer, it's good news because they get to buy rice for cheaper. But as a businessman or woman, you know that, it's probably biting in your body that, this thing I bought for this amount is losing money at the time. Now, you might say that you're losing money, but I would like to tell you that you have not lost money. Why am I saying this? Because as long as you still have that bag of rice in your house, as long as you still have that bag of rice in your house, you haven't lost money. You've only lost value of that bag of rice in your house. Why am I saying this? Because in the market, everything that goes down comes up. In trading as well, everything that goes down comes up. Now, the only thing that would say that you would lose is time. And this time is the time it will take you to wait for the market to go down as deep as it wants to, and it eventually comes back up. So if that bag of rice that has dropped from 30,000 naira to 20,000 naira eventually pumps back up to 25,000 and to 30,000, now we can say that you have broken even. At that point, you can decide to, sell off and break even, or wait even further for the bag of rice to appreciate in value, thereby making more profit. But throughout that entire time, when the price of rice went down, you didn't lose money because you are still in possession of that bag of rice. The only time, I told you there's only one scenario would say that you have actually lost money. The only time that would say that you have lost money is when that bag of rice dropped from 30,000 to 20,000, you kept waiting for the price to rebound. But something, you just got tired of waiting. You're like, let me just sell off this bag of rice. I'm tired of waiting. As soon as you sell off that rice, as soon as that rice exchanges ownership from you to someone else, that is the only time that we say that you have lost. You have an actual loss. Actual loss. Let me write that for you. Actual loss. All right. But if you decide not to sell, you have decided you're going to wait for this bag of rice to appreciate in value. At that time, when it is less than the amount you bought it, we will say that you are in a floating, FLOATING loss. Floating loss. It is not an actual loss. So all the fluctuation from 30,000 down to 25 to 22 to 20, we call that floating loss. And at that time, you still haven't lost money. You are just in a floating loss. But as soon as you sell off, as soon as you decide to sell off at a lower price, we'll say that you've had an actual loss. So this example I'm giving you now with the bag of rice, obviously you understand that it means cryptocurrency in this essence. The only time we'd say that you've lost money with spot trading in crypto is if you sell at a price lower than the amount you bought it. But as long as you're able to wait for the market to recover, you cannot lose money in spot trading. I hope it is clear. Please, if it's clear, please type yes in the chat before I move on. If it is clear, please type yes in the chat before I move on. If it's clear, please type yes in the chat before I move on. All right. If you're not clear, please type a no as well. If you're not clear, please type a no as well. We're here to learn. All right, so basically everybody's saying yes. Everybody's saying yes. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so moving on. I've explained to you what how the RoyalQ bot gets bound with your Binance, which is your digital wallet. I've explained to you what spot trading is as well, which is just you making profit, you buying low and selling high. I've explained to you what floating loss is. So when you hear that in the group, when you become a member of the RoyalQ business, you understand what it means to be in a floating loss. I've explained to you what an actual loss is as well. So these are just terminologies that you need to understand before you join and before you become a member of RoyalQ. All right, so moving on. Another example or way the RoyalQ bot is very effective for us and helps us make more money is by what we call the martingale strategy. Martingale strategy, which basically is called, the dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging. Now, what is this? So let's take, for instance, there are two people. The first person is called Mr. Paul. All right, so Mr. Paul decides to purchase a cryptocurrency for $200. And his plan is that when he gets to $500, he's going to sell off in profits. That's his plan. So let's put that into graphics. So let's say Mr. Paul decides to purchase a coin for $200. His plan is that when he gets up to 500, he's going to sell in profit. But something happened in the market now, and that coin that he bought for $200 starts losing value. It now turns to 190. The market keeps going down. It turns to 150. It turns to 120, even turns to 100. The same coin that he bought for $200 is now worth $100. Now, Mr. Paul is panicking because he doesn't understand. Should he sell off? Should he wait? Should he just hope for the best? But thankfully, Mr. Paul decides to wait. And like I said, the market does only two things. The market goes down and it goes up. It goes down and it goes up. The market continuously fluctuates. There is no constant uptrend of a market and there is no constant decline of a market. There are different times that the market always fluctuates. Now, Mr. Paul decides to wait. He decides to, yes, he's in a floating loss, but he's not going to sell because he understands that in the future, this coin will eventually bounce back. And just as he predicted, it might take time. Remember, I told you that the only thing that you would lose in this scenario would be time, which is the time that it would take you to wait for the market to recover. But let's say, Mr. Paul decides to wait for as best as he can. And eventually the market starts going back up. The market eventually gets to his 200 at this point. He decides to, if he wants to sell off here and break even, he can, or he can still wait until he gets to his profit, which is 500 here. That is one scenario that Mr. Paul did, but the only thing he lost here was time. Now, let's say, for instance, there's a second person, Miss Jane, all right? Now, Miss Jane decides to do the same thing that Mr. Paul did, which is to buy a cryptocurrency for $200. Her plan is that when this coin gets to 500, same thing, she's going to sell off in profit. But something happens again in the market. Like I said, we have our plan, but the market has its own plan. So this coin that Ms. Jane bought for $200 dips in value and is now worth $120. It keeps dipping. It is worth 100. It keeps dipping. It's worth 90. Keeps dipping. It's worth at some point $50. So now a coin that she bought for $200 is now worth $50. But Miss Jane is not panicking. Why? Because she understands what the market does. She understands that the market will always rebound. And she did something a little different from what Mr. Paul did. Remember, all Mr. Paul did was to buy. When the market dipped, he waited until he returned. But Miss Jane saw an opportunity for this dip in the market. Why? Every single time the market dropped, she bought more. Every single time the market dropped, she bought more coins. Every time it dropped, she just kept buying more. Every time it dropped, she just kept buying more because she saw the opportunity in the market. Because every time the market dropped, she kept buying more coins because she understood that as soon as this market starts recovering, even before it gets to this her point of purchase, she would have made way more money than Mr. Paul did. So what she did was she took action to take advantage of each drop in the market to reposition herself to make more money. Some people might think of her as not being smart, but trust me, she's the smartest in the room. Because every time the market dropped, she saw an opportunity to buy more coins. Every time it went down, she purchased more coins until the market now recovered. So at this point, even before it gets to this $200 here, she would have made way more money, way more than 200, way more, of course, than Mr. Paul did. Because remember, all Mr. Paul did was wait for the market to go down and come up. This thing I just explained now is what we have here in this screen, but in a very simple term, the way I explained it. And this scenario of buying low whenever the market drops is what the royalty bot does for you with ease. You don't do it yourself. The royalty bot detects based on the parameters of the settings you have given your royalty bot. It purchases when the market dips to a certain percentage that you have set it in, and you can go about your day, your 9 to 5, whatever it is that you do for a living, and this bot will keep buying and selling on your behalf. That's amazing. If you understand all I just said now, please type a yes in the chat. If you understand all I said right now, please type a yes in the chat. If you don't as well, please type a no. Awesome. So Regan says yes. A lot of yeses in the chat. Awesome. If you don't understand, please type a no. Do not feel left out. We don't. Okay. So Valerie says no. Awesome. So Valerie, I'd like to ask you, what part exactly do you not understand? Just type it in the chat. Valerie, you said no. What type? You were distracted. Okay, I'll run through it one more time, but quicker this time. But you can always go back to the recording. It will be posted in the group by tomorrow. It will be posted in the group by tomorrow. All right, so basically all I'm saying is the method called the martingale strategy is a strategy of buying more positions when the market is dropping. Why? Because as you're buying more positions when the market is dropping, you are basically getting those coins for cheaper. And as it's buying, we already know that the market does two things. It goes up and it comes down. It comes down and it goes up. So even if the market is going down, you rest assured that yes, it might take a while, it might take weeks, it might take days, it might take even months for a market to recover, but the market does eventually recover. And because you were buying more positions when it was going down, you would make way more money now that it's coming up. The first example I gave was a man who just decided to buy and wait for the market to go down and come up. But the second example I gave was buying at each interval when the market was going down, because once the market starts recovering, you would make way more money than the first person did. And this example, this movement, this buying for at every interval is seamlessly done with the power of your RoyalQ bot. All right. So that I hope that's clear for you. You can always watch the recording again tomorrow to understand it perfectly. All right, so moving on, we're going to talk about other strategies that are in that the RoyalQ bot helps us in making more funds. We're going to be talking about the cycle strategy. Now, what does cycle mean? Just as the name implies, cycle, something that keeps occurring. All right. Now, this example simply means that you are telling your RoyalQ bot, please, let's say for instance, you tell your bot, please purchase this coin for me at $200. When the coin gets to 500, please sell in profits. If the market comes down again to, let's say, 300, please buy. If at this point the market goes up again to the same 500 or more, please sell. If the market comes back down, please buy. If it goes up, please sell. So this is a constant motion. It's a constant motion. This is why I said This is why it's called a cycle strategy, because it keeps happening. This is an instruction you've told your bot to keep carrying out until you come back and stop it. So all these things I type now will keep happening with ease. When it gets up, it sells. When it comes down, it buys. When it gets up, it sells. When it comes down, it buys. When it gets up, it sells. All that would happen seamlessly because it is the cycle strategy. So yes, your bot can keep making money for you while you decide to go about your day. Now, the next strategy that is also here is what we call the one-shot strategy. And just like the example I just gave you now, this scenario is a little different from the cycle because you are telling your RoyalQ bot, you're instructing your RoyalQ bot, for example, please purchase this coin at $200. Excuse me, $200. When this coin gets to 500, please sell for me. If this coin comes back down to 300, let's say, do not buy. Even if it comes back down, do not buy. Even if it goes up, do not buy. Basically, this is the only action that matters. The first one, the instruction that you've given it at first. So please buy at this point and sell at this point. Simple. It doesn't carry out any other activity because it is the one-shot strategy. It's a one-time instruction given to your RoyalQ bot. I hope it is clear as to what cycle strategy is now and one-shot strategy is now. If it is not clear, please type no in the chat. If it is, please type a yes. If the one-shot strategy is clear, please type yes. If it is not, please type no. All right. Thank you so much, Usman, for the kind words. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. So Valerie says it's clear. Admin says it's clear. Everybody says it's clear. Awesome. So moving forward, we've talked about cycle, which is a constant instruction you're giving to your RoyalQ bot. We've talked about one shot, which is a one-time action or one-time instruction you are giving to your RoyalQ bot to carry out for you as well. Now, the monthly profits you can make from this vary. For the cycle, depending on the coin, remember, this is not a business that is telling you, oh, we are going to give you this exact amount of money or this percentage this week or this month. No. It depends on the performance of the coin you have picked to trade. I will say it again. It depends on the performance of the coins you have picked to trade. It is not constant. It is not a constant 5% or 10%. No. This is not a Ponzi scheme. This is not a business that promises what it cannot deliver. All right. So for the cycle strategy, the range of profit that you can make is from 5 to 30%, approximately. Next, for one short strategy, the range of profit you can make as well is from 5 to 100%. Once again, depending on the coin that you have chosen to trade. I hope that is clear. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about excuse me, trading income. What do you make from RoyalQ? What is it called? Whenever you make fund, when you make fund from RoyalQ, what's it called? The first one is trading income. Now, trading income is basically whenever the RoyalQ bot sells in profits for you successfully, we call that the trading income. So you've set up your RoyalQ bot, you have chosen the coin you want to trade, you have set the parameters for the trade, you have clicked on comment. As soon as the RoyalQ bot buys the coin and it eventually hits your profit target, that is your trading income. All right. So next we have the team trading profits. Now, when you decide to bless people, that's what I love to say, bless people with this opportunity. And they join the business and start trading and making money for themselves as well, you will also make money. Finally, we have the affiliate income. If you decide to build this as a business, like I always say, bless someone with this business as well. When they sign up with the business, when you help them sign up as well, you get rewarded for that. But it's not compulsory. You can decide to stick to your trading if you don't have anybody to talk to about the business or anybody to tell about the business, or you just want to trade. Fantastic. But if you decide to do that and help somebody get started, you will get rewarded for that act as well. Next, we have the fuel fee. Now, I asked you earlier that every businessman and woman that starts a business, they do that for one main thing. And everybody said profits, which is correct. Now, you might say this Royalty bot sounds amazing. It sounds really good. They trade. The bot helps you monitor trades, sells for you when you're not there. Awesome. But the developers of this bot, did they just make it for free? Is it just for everybody to have fun for free? No, it's a business. So, of course, they have to make money as well. But the good thing about the RealQ business is that they only make money when you make money. They only make a profit when you make a profit. What do I mean? Every time you successfully sell off a trade, 20% of that goes to the RealQ business. So let's say you make $100 profit, 20% of that would go to RealQ. Let's say you make $10 in profit, 20% as well goes to RealQ. If you don't make any profit, nobody deducts any 20% from you. So like I said, they only make money when you make money. As simple and straightforward as that. Okay, so how do you get started with this business? We've talked about USDT, we've talked about USD, we've talked about trading pairs, we've talked about fiat currencies, we've talked about the blockchain, I told you that everything I was talking about prior to this would lead you to understanding what RealQ is all about. So how do you get started with RealQ? Now, you need a minimum of 240 USDT. USDT, not US dollars. Remember, USDT. This is the cryptocurrency business. It's not a fiat business. It's not a forex business. It is a cryptocurrency business. So you would need approximately a minimum of 240 USDT to get started. How is that split? Now, from that 240, 120 USDT goes to your subscription. This subscribes you to use the RealQ bot. This gives you access to use the RealQ bot to set up your trades. It's just like your Netflix subscriptions. When you subscribe, it gives you access for a month to watch the movies and so on. But this one is for a year. This gives you access to use the RealQ bot for a whole year. And of course, within a year, you'd have made way more than this if you are serious with the business and trading. Next, 20 USDT for the fuel fee. I talked about the fuel fee on one slide ago. Basically, every time you make a profit, and 20% of that is calculated, that 20% is taken from this 20 USDT here. So let's say you make $10 in profit. Whatever 20% of $10 is, will be deducted from this 20 USDT, and that is what goes to RealQ. So if let's say you make a $10 profit, 20% of that will be $2, I'm guessing. So $2 subtracted from this 20 USDT is what will go to the RealQ business. So they will basically make $2 from your $10 profit. Same thing as well. Whatever profit you make, 20% of that goes to the RealQ business. All right, so you would then need a minimum of $100 in your Binance. Now, this $100 is just a benchmark. I can assure you that if you obviously you cannot expect to make the kind of profits somebody is trading with $1,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 if you decide to start with $100. It's not possible. It's not even possible. But this is the minimum you can start with. And I can assure you and tell you that obviously, the more capital you have in the business, the more money you can make. And why it is safe is that, remember, I told you that in this business, you do not send your money to anyone. I will keep saying it. You don't send your money to anyone to trade for you. All your funds are in your possession, in your Binance, in your cryptocurrency exchange. Why is that important? Because you have all the security, all the passwords, everything pertaining to security of that account is in your hand. No other person can make you draw from that account except you. So this is a business whereby your capital and your profits are in your own possession. That is unheard of. There is no business out there that lets you hold your capital and your profits in your own hands. There's no business out there that has that. But here in ROQ, your business, your capital and your profits remain in your own possession. All right. So moving forward, let's talk about 7 reasons why ROQ is just amazing. The first one is no payment of salary to anyone because everything is done on your smartphone. Now, no data is required. Well, the only time data will be required is when you are setting up your ROQ bot, when you are given instructions or when you are picking a coin to trade. But as soon as you pick a coin, you set your strategy for the ROQ bot and you click on start. As soon as that bot starts trading, you can turn off your data, you can turn off your internet, you can walk into a place that has no reception or a place that has no internet access, and the bot will keep working with ease. It doesn't require internet service at that point. As soon as you've started a trade, it's awesome. So you don't need to always come online to ensure that is trading, or you need to stand where there's proper network for you to trade on your behalf. No. As soon as you start and you start a trade, you can turn off your data, turn off your phone, and keep working. Next, 0% supervision. Your capital and your profits are 100% in your custody. I told you, your profits and your capital are in your custody. Basically, it's in your own wallet that you have all the passwords to. No other person can make withdrawals except you. Next, your kids and your family can inherit this business. Yes, we have a saying that in the future, we'll no longer be passing on land documents and, stale assets. We'll be passing on passwords and secret keys for our loved ones to access our digital wealth. Next, no loss of funds and no third party. Remember, I gave you the scenario where we would say that you had an actual loss. Remember, I remember telling you guys that the only time we would say they have an actual loss, I gave you that scenario. I also told you what a floating loss means and the power of spot trading. Next, you have no skills required. Now, no skills required until you decide to become a day trader. Remember, I told you day traders have extensive knowledge and understanding. So for you to become a day trader, you need understanding, you need to learn, you need to know what to look out for in the market, when to trade, when not to trade. Because yes, not trading is also trading. There are times you can look at the market and it's not conducive for you to get to the market, you stay out. You staying out is also trading, because if you go in, you might lose money or get into a floating loss at the time. So finally, no CAC certificates required for this business. So what do you stand to gain when you join the RKTMI team? Number one, you get access to the RKTMI premium group. Now we have a thriving community of so many groups on WhatsApp. We have amazing leaders you can always reach out to if you have any issues. We have people that can hold your hand when you are starting the business. And we have Zoom calls almost every day of the week. We have technical classes on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's a thriving community of people that are willing to learn and make more money for themselves and make their lives better. These are the perks that you make or you get when you join the RQTMI team. Now, free training until you become a pro with the RoyalQ bot. We'll teach you how to do that. Like I said, this meeting today is for the average Joe, for the layman, for the person that has no understanding or no proper understanding of cryptocurrency and RoyalQ. This is for the person that is starting off. And I tried my best to be as basic as possible, and I hope I was. Next, you get the RQTMI trading setup template. Now, this template is amazing. It caters to whatever capital structure that you have. But I can assure you once again that the more capital you have in your business, the more profits you make. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. You cannot expect to make the kind of money someone that has 10,000 or 20,000 in trading with $100 or 50 or $20. It's not possible. Yes, you can start with that, but you cannot make that kind of profit. So start where you fit in and where you are most comfortable. And remember, your capital and your profits remain in your custody. Finally, if you decide to learn all this elsewhere, this can cost you from $5,000 to $6,000 for the knowledge alone. But once you join this business, once you get your bot started, or you purchase the bot and you start trading, all these perks come to you for free when you join the business. It's amazing. So that being said, we are past our time. I apologize for taking so much of your time, but I hope you got some value from this meeting today. If you got some value, please type value in the chat and let me know how you feel about the meeting. I tried my best to make it as basic as possible for those that are here for the very first time. So if you did enjoy it, please type in the chat. That being said, thank you so much for taking our time to listen to my voice today. I hope you understood everything that you heard today. Even if you didn't, please get back to the person who invited you. Let them know that you're ready to get started. And trust me, this is a decision that you will not regret. RoyalQ is an amazing business. Get started today. I would like to unmute ourselves to say our goodbyes and have an amazing evening, everyone.
God bless you, Coach of Open.
That was an amazing teaching. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
great
you.
leader.
Thank you so much.
Awesome presentation as always.
Thank you so
Have
Good
a
much.
night,
great day.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a wonderful
Bye. Have an
Bye.
amazing evening. Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgie.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice
Thanks,
day.
coach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.